It almost seems like a cliche to talk about climbing to the top of a mountain. How many times have we heard the metaphors, the thousands of steps, the effort, the sweat, and the tears? How often have people used the view from the mountaintop to explain why you should never give up? Why you should keep trying, even though it's tough, painful, or unendurable. But the real question, the only one that matters is, how many people do you actually know who have reached the summit? Our competitors have trained and traveled to reach this moment of the season, and only the best have arrived. This is the Green Mountain Championship, and the 2024 Disc Golf Pro Tour playoffs start now.
Hello and welcome to Discraft's Green Mountain Championship at Smuggler's Notch Resort. It is the first of our playoff events. We start off the day today at Brewster Ridge. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're two hot geese.
Hawk.
Did you enjoy the wedding today? The marriage of late summer and early fall out there? The perfect conditions we experienced?
It was really a lovely day on the course.
Sure was. Joining us today, back-to-back winner of this event, Kristin Tattar, also where she won her second world title, I believe. 77% fairway hits, 64% circle tune regulation, 79% C1X putting this 2024 season.
Next up, we have Holyn Handley. It's through 2024 so far. She's 78% fairway hits, 63% circle 2 in regulation, and 80% of her circle 1X putts are going in the basket.
And our current leader of the Disc Golf Pro Tour World Standings points, Big Money Missy, 81% fairway hits, 64% circle 2 in regulation, 75% C1X putting, and she actually shot her highest rated round ever at this event, so should be fun to watch.
And own Scoggins. You guys know her 2024 so far, 77% of the time in the fairway, 59% circle 2, and 82% circle 1X putt.
Hey, what's up everybody? I want to tell you that today's video is sponsored by Vessi. As you all know, Vessi has been a huge partner of ours for a long time, and we are really stoked about the storm bursts. We have the low tops and the high tops. They're really great for like a casual environment where you can be versatile, so you can wear them around town. And then if you have an impromptu round out there on the disc golf course, just hop right out there. It doesn't matter if it's wet, dry, or anything. Vessis are waterproof, not water resistant. That is a huge distinction to make in all of the shoes that are available right now. Because when you ever found yourself out there on the course and it's like in the morning and there's some dew out there, or you throw your disc in the water and you have to go out there and get it, you're gonna be able to get in the water and get right back out with dry feet. And that's a huge advantage when you're out there on the course. So if you haven't given Vessis a shot yet, what are you waiting for? Today is the day. We've had tons of people telling us how much they love their Vessis. They're a game changer out there on the course. In fact, this whole time I've just been standing in the water and my shoes are dry, my socks are dry, the water rolls right off. So to get started, you're gonna go to vessi.com/JomezPro. That's gonna get you 15% off your first order. That's vessi.com/JomezPro, or click the link down below to get started today. Thank you once again to Vessi for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get back to it.
Let's get this ball rolling. It was a beautiful morning at Brewster Ridge. Hole 1. You can see the leaves already starting to change everywhere. It's 320 feet, a nice little simple starting hole. It is a tight fairway though, with a late turn if you're throwing a backhand, or if you've got that distant sidearm, that'll work as well. But most players just trying to throw something straight, maybe get a tiny bit of drift at the end. You see some people err by throwing right early.
2024 Green Mountain Championship, presented by Barbasol and hosted by our friends here at Smuggler's Notch Resort. This is the first in the DGPT playoff series. This is our 10 o'clock FPO card, our lead card. Let's welcome into the box, from Grapevine, Texas, Holyn Handley.
It really feels like we watch Holyn Handley every single week at this point.
It sure does.
She's
Every card every week.
played so well all year. She's had her first 3 Elite Series wins this year. Unreal. Look at this beautiful sidearm to start.
Yeah, one of the few players on tour that has that good distance, and she's in the wood chips.
Effortless.
Stepping in next from Beacon, New York. Let's welcome Missy Gannon.
Missy's season is almost like overshadowed, even though she's like won a major this year.
Yep, her first major.
Her first major. Had so many great finishes.
And she's comfortable at this event. She was second here last year.
Next up from Los Angeles, California. Let's put our hands together for Own Scoggins.
Own comfortable at every event. Doesn't even matter.
I don't think she's ever been uncomfortable, period.
She definitely has the distance to get here. Her sidearm is huge. Working that flex.
Looking great.
Thank you.
Oh, just right into the bullseye.
And completing this foursome, joining us from Pärnu, Estonia. She is a 2-time and current world champion of disc golf. Let's make some noise for Kristin Tattar.
Kristin won this event last year and in 2022.
This is one of the few cards where you see 3 out of 4 sidearms. Kristin with a nice little scramble recovery shot, hitting an early tree. Out here, it's not always easy to save your par, but you feel pretty good about it if you can get off the hole with a par. Missy going to get off the hole with a birdie, though. This course is kind of refreshing because you are able to throw a lot more putters, mids, and fairways off the tee than you are at a lot of the courses that we play these days on tour. But it kind of starts to feel a little bit like a birdie or die situation. We're trying not to let it, and it's Brewster Ridge, so it's woods. You're always going to be humbled out here, but it's very important to get your birdies and at least try to maintain a par at worst here.
I'm trying to remember some of the best scores we've seen out here. It feels like we should see double digits every time because there are so many birdies, but realistically, anything under par is great out here. We tend to see the hotter scores at Fox Run. It's a little bit more open.
Yeah, even though the wind is a bigger factor there, everyone seems to be more comfortable with the open shots because that's what we do a lot of now.
Hole 2, an uphill par 4, 450 feet, plays a lot farther. Fairly tight OB on the right. The landing zone is pretty difficult to reach. I like kind of a flex shot. You could do a forehand, but you don't really see that very often. If you can get over to that opening, you do have a chance to birdie for sure. But it is definitely, you see most women kind of err out to the left of the original landing zone, or ideal landing zone rather, and then have to work through those trees. Let's see our current world champ, Evelina Salonen, who skipped D-Glow, back at her first tournament after winning the big one.
This is coming out early. Ideally, you want to have a little more turn on that disc. It's just scary to put a lot of turn because of that OB all the way down the right side.
Oh, and this is what I'm talking about.
Jail.
Couple teeny gaps.
And she's throwing right at that rock wall OB line on the right side. Oh, man, look at that recovery shot. Scrambling
Really
like
amazing.
a world champion.
So good.
Birdie on hole 2 feels great.
And we talk about Holyn, but Evelina's had such a great win this year as well. She's 4 major and Elite Series wins. Also, she hasn't missed a top 5 since Music City in April, where she got 6th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holyn immediately throws out of bounds pretty early. I don't think she crossed back in. We'll see what the card gives her.
That looks like a really solid shot from Missy finding the landing zone. She's so good at just ripping them dead straight.
It's fine to be a little bit right. There's like a secondary fairway over there, kind of. It's not great, but it's open.
Better right than left for sure.
It's a little bit of a more nervy shot.
Own working that flex, pushing the OB, but looks like she stays in bounds.
She's in a little cluster of trees that can be very tricky. Kristin also working the hyzer flip up the right side.
Pretty.
I feel like I see a lot of people doing turnovers up the left.
That's what I was going to say, and that looked better than what you usually see. And it doesn't bring those left side trees into play at all.
Holyn having to go right through them. She doesn't have the distance to get all the way there. She's still probably, I would say, uphill 400-ish feet away, maybe 380. Own a little closer here.
Yeah, that's quite a rip. It doesn't look like she's trying to get all the way there. Maybe get a long look. Wow, that's great.
Yeah, really good angle control.
It just looked so smooth. I didn't think it had a chance of getting up there. Effortless distance. Missy with a little bit better look at it. A little bit too low out of the hand, a little early. Kristin lined up pretty well on this right side, but very early release. Oh, she's in. I think she's in.
Yeah, that right side, you can see how it is open, but if you catch any of those inside trees, early release at all, it's pretty much guaranteed that you're kicking right out of bounds. So it's very easy to be a little hesitant there.
And a great recovery from kind of a surprising and unforced error.
Up there inside the circle, putting back down at the basket. This hole usually plays as one of the more difficult holes. Missy still with a birdie look, though, from way outside.
I think this is another one of those holes that we're going to see just kind of increasingly improve across the stats as the field improves. Like, this used to be a hard hole, but now it's kind of just a regular old, just a disc golf hole. No big deal.
It averaged just around even par, just a little bit over. We're going to see Holyn and Holyn take the only bogey on the card. Hole 3, an uphill 285-foot hole, plays more like 330, I would say. I like a distance driver to get there, but you can work a fairway up as well. The uphill nature of the hole, though, doesn't quite let you push a mid-range as far as you would like, unless you like to throw mid-ranges really far, which we have a lot of people like that in FPO.
We sure do. More and more, it seems.
Most players throwing distance drivers or fairway drivers on this hole. Pushing straight is really important, and just let it have a little hyzer at the end. You don't necessarily need to work a actual hyzer shot. Own flexing something up the right side, calling for it to come back.
And she'll get up there just outside the circle for a putt.
No out of bounds on this hole, just an elevated basket that can get you.
This one feels like a must get that I never get. It's like oddly, it's a tricky, surprisingly tricky line. Missy really nails it and curls up on that tree and it rolls her away. Unfortunate result for a pretty perfect shot.
I can't remember if they've always had the flag visible, but this year you can see the flag on top of the basket.
I think generally they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why it helped me so very much.
Maybe it's a brighter flag. Maybe they got a new one.
Yeah.
Fresh flag. Holyn, slower speed. Guessing buzz.
That looks so good.
Yeah, perfect height.
This hole can be a little tricky to lay up on with all the action around the bullseye. But like Erika said, this is one that you really want to get.
Yeah, you sure want to.
What tree?
Just gonna start with 3 perfect birdies and a Jomez. Let's go.
Nice. High in the chains that it grabs. This hole averaging at about 1/3 of a stroke under par. Own showing us how it's done.
Missy for birdie. It's such a bummer. I mean, she literally put it to less than 10 feet.
Holyn just inside the circle.
Great connection.
She's looking really comfortable on the putting green. We have 41 competitors here today at this playoff event. No cut this week, 4 rounds.
Which is nice. Last year we did have a cut.
So we get to see Brewster Ridge, this wooded course we're playing now, and Fox Run, the more open course. Both of them twice. Very exciting.
My buddies and I just helped grow the global disc golf community. Check it out. We got our favorite shirts at Quirky Goodies, and a percentage of the sales proceeds go to the Paul Macbeth Foundation. They build great disc golf courses all around the world. I picked up 3 shirts for myself. This one's my favorite. Hey, if you're like me and you're always looking for a discount code, use this one, JomezPro 15. That'll give you 15% off. QuirkyGoodies.com. Buy a shirt, make a difference.
Hole 4 is a par 4, 420 feet uphill. You see some women kind of take some off and just make sure you land in the center of this little fairway because you can break the hole up into 2 and still birdie it. Well, you do see some women go all the way, huge drive and just have a nice simple chip shot, but you bring in a lot more danger. Casual rock wall, no OB over there. That has been OB in the past. Kind of a lot of obstacles on this green that's slightly sloped from left to right.
Yeah, we have a short tee pad on this hole, and I think it makes the hole a lot more birdieable.
Yeah.
Own working a forehand here, trickling off into the edge of the woods, and that's kind of something you want to avoid. The right side woods are very difficult to recover from. You have to throw a patent pending.
The left side's a little friendlier, especially if you go way left. There's kind of an alternate fairway.
Holyn kicking early. She's not going to have much. It's going to be a par at best.
Missy throwing it on a rope, a little short and a little right.
This looks great.
That's why you play the game, you know?
Yep, dead center down the wooded fairway.
Little smirk from Kristin. Holyn
forced to take a knee.
Yeah, but able to get a lot of spin and power on that forehand and land. It looks like center cut.
Yeah, that's a great recovery shot. That was a lot of power. Here's that patent pending. It's pretty typical on the right side of this fairway. It's hard to get the disc to turn enough to get down into the wood chips and give yourself a putt. She'll be able to maybe scramble a putt through there, though.
Own looks like she has a almost full run up here and able to go kind of more pure hyzer, classic own bounce to about 20 feet.
Really fortunate that she was able to have a gap through those trees.
I hope we have a regional bird on lock.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wow. Great scrambling from Holyn.
Par at best, and she gave it her best.
One of those classic shots where most people would throw a backhand up shot. Kristin goes forehand. So good at that.
It's just like the best touch.
Missy looks like she... Oh, no. She doesn't really have anything, does she?
Hyzer, drop it in.
Okay. Good effort.
This hole's pretty tough to birdie, but wait, what the heck? The stats are wild today. It's the second or the third easiest hole of the day.
I mean, it's short. Like
13 birdies.
Yeah, yeah, that's good.
It's a lot of trouble to get in.
There is, sure. But it's one of the shorter par fours out here, I believe.
That's true. That is true. We're gonna see 2 birdies on our feature card. Own for the 4 in a row, and I can't decide which one I want to name it because they look the same, but we saw them today. Either a downy woodpecker or a hairy woodpecker.
Hairy woodpecker.
A hairy woodpecker it is.
Because it sounds funnier.
They're impossible to tell apart, even if you have the best photo of it ever and you have the key right there next to you. Like, you still just are guessing.
Okay.
It's a mystery.
Own 4 through 4.
Yeah, that's the way to start your tournament out.
Whew.
She's here to play off.
She's here to party.
Yeah. Hole 5, it's 305 feet. Plays longer than that, and I can't quite tell you why. I think it has something to do with, it's uphill, but then back downhill, so it doesn't add a ton of distance with the hill. I think it's maybe just the fact that it's a very narrow fairway, and that OB that runs all the way down the left-hand side is very much in play if you catch any early trees. It's really hard to get it out of your head. You see this a lot. Hannah Wynn, we're going to check in and watch her get super lucky through that right side.
I mean, that's a real play, though. It's inbound, so you kind of just take what you can get over there. Hannah getting a circle 2 look.
That is not luck.
Cashing it.
That's pure skill downhill. That's a scary putt, too. Nice birdie. We see a lot of forehands on this hole, but it's scary because in order to get the distance, you do have to throw a bit of a flex shot and trust that your disc isn't going to get tangled up early.
Yeah, Own really pushing that OB, and she's going to find it. So easy to do.
Ideally, you want to throw a little bit of a hyzer flip here, but you find a lot of this sawed-off action happening.
Not a bad result, though. Yeah, one of those holes that you're like, oh yeah, just a forehand on screen, and then you get there and you're like, wait a second.
Why is this so far?
Why is
hard
it
or
so
something?
hard? Holyn, so good at this shot. I think the best in the field at a straight pushing sidearm that hyzers out at the end.
Sending those wood chips flying. Missy gonna try the backhand here. It's a hard backhand. Most people just trying to throw something dead straight, not trying to work it right necessarily. Easier said than done.
Yeah, that was a great line. It just needed to miss that one tree to the left. Little Missy sidearm. Little fall leaves.
Heck
some
yeah.
Nice lighting. Some nice
vibes.
geese.
Honka. Perfect to the bullseye.
Own throwing 3 with the out of bounds stroke. That's going to be her first bogey. First non-birdie, anyway. For real, look at this lighting.
Kristin with a conservative bid. Dead center, low on the pole. It sits down, though. You sometimes see rollaways on this hole.
Holyn, so good on the putting green. Great birdie to move to 2 down, even with a bogey.
This is a hole that you're not super aggravated if you come off with a bogey, you know?
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, but you're just like, okay, it's a hard shot, and maybe you catch a tree, maybe you just get tangled up. It's, you know, this one you can let go of pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like your mental game has some strengths that maybe mine does not.
Isn't it fun to watch, though, everyone throw a lower speed disc?
Oh, it's nice. Yeah.
We are so happy.
Soothing.
Yeah, we're just taking a walk in the woods.
Yeah, here's another one. You can kind of just chill. Anyone in the field can get a mid-range down there, but you see a lot of fairway drivers as well. Hole 6, par 3, downhill 345. You kind of want to just push the right side just a little bit, get a nice gentle fade. This out of bounds kind of marshy area is newly out of bounds this year, I believe, and it can come into play fast. If you throw a faster speed disc and get a skip, it's pretty easy to find.
It's there to protect the wetlands.
We love the wetlands.
We do love the wetlands.
Ooh, Evelina.
Flipping something up. So much spin. Look at all this ground play.
Nice slow speed disc. That's the way to do it if you have it.
Tester. Yes.
Confident bid. Evelina moving to 2 down.
It's another little bit of a scary putt. If you miss the basket here, it is going far past.
Holyn. Looking like a putter. So good. Check up. Check up.
Still spinning.
Wow. I believe she's right around circle's edge.
Imagine if she threw a mid.
I mean, it would be
in the
100 feet. Yeah, past.
Kristin with a little more height on it than you want, but it's getting through everything. Yes, and gets knocked down by a tree.
Yeah, it was a lucid verdict.
Oh, verdict.
Yeah, slow speed, so height's good.
Yeah.
Missy also going mid Z swirl buzz.
Perfect.
Yeah. So close. Just a little bit more fade and that was it. Own. Destroyer, duh. Ooh, and that is the bad kick. Depending on where she landed, it can get really nasty on that left side.
This hole's really hard to work any sort of flex. You kind of have to throw something either flat or on a hyzer. I'm having a hard time getting back out, trying to get up and down, but catching another tree.
I'm impressed that she even got it that far from where she was. I mean, she was going almost 90 degrees away from the basket.
Gonna have to settle for another bogey at best here. This played as the second easiest hole of the day. There was only 13 birdies, so that still speaks for how hard this course is, even though we get to throw slower speed discs.
Yeah. I mean, and these are the top 41 women in the world to create these statistics, so.
Yeah, I forgot. We're in playoff land. This is the real deal.
This is the real.
Holyn having to kind of work something through 2 big trees, forcing an angle. It didn't quite play out.
Missy, tester for par, just squeaks it in, keeping her round clean. Kristin for a birdie. Ooh, good catch. Looks like that tree was in her way. And after a very hot start on going back-to-back bogeys, still in a tie for first, but wow.
Kristin gonna walk away with the only birdie on hole 6. And the holes just get harder from here.
Yeah, Brewster is one of the hardest courses on tour, I think, to play bogey-free. And that's, I mean, there's a lot of courses that are really difficult, but this is definitely a contender.
Disc graph built for flight. Built for flight.
Hole 7, I think it's the hardest par 4 on the course at 520 feet. It's not hard in length. It's just about the little teeny tiny landing zone all the way at the very end of a long, thin tunnel. That makes it hard. The second shot is a lot more open depending on where you land, but a lot of times you're having to kind of scramble from the rough short and left, or if you get a bad kick, right. The right side of the fairway is brutal. Early left, you can usually scramble your par at worst. Kristin way early here, but she might slide through and find something.
Yeah, that's
wow.
Lucky, but also that's the mistake to make. There's more room there, as Madison said, than the right side, which she was very deep in this morning.
When exploring.
Holyn, it kind of looked like she was almost splitting the difference between the hyzer play and the straight play. If she was just around that tree, it would have been perfect. She's going to be on the right. Missy has this shot locked down. Actually turns it too much.
Just a little too much.
Not bad. Not great.
She's definitely far enough where she could have got to the landing zone, but yeah, going to be tucked a little bit. And even just that 15 feet to the right makes this hole almost impossible to birdie.
Own one of the few holes where she's not throwing a destroyer, and she really does a nice job and gets punished by that fairway tree.
Yeah, she is nestled right up on it.
Wow, the second time we've seen Holyn in this stance trying to scramble. And a good out, but a long way to go to try to save par.
Yeah, and she's right behind a big cluster of trees. Another Missy forehand here, just trying to get out into the open. Uh-oh.
Not her best effort, but she can still save a par.
Holyn has about 300 feet uphill, plays a little bit more, like 310, 320.
Mm-hmm. She is good for it and then some. She's deep of the basket. Like, way deep.
Yeah. Owen second. She wasn't as close to the tree as I thought, which is nice.
Yeah, rewarded with a lane up there. And gets to... Is that outside the circle? It's a good shot.
Yeah. Kristin's shot filters through all the trees you want to miss. She still left with nothing but a forehand flex shot.
Oh, so close.
Yeah, a little too steep of an angle for a hyzer.
I don't think she saw that one. I think she was surprised.
Yeah.
Missy's third. Needs a nice gentle turning shot. Uphill run up. She gets a lot of power, but not quite enough turn.
This is one of the few holes that averaged over par. Oh, I lied. Like half of them did. Okay.
Missy just laying up, looking at her first bogey of the round. Here's Kristin for a very long look for birdie outside circle 2. Gives it a go. Kind of. Holyn, wide straddle, has a little bit of a lane here.
Fall is in the air.
It really is. Oh, and even more now that she hit that tree.
It's very fun to go out there and shake trees right now. So many leaves fall down.
Own for a birdie. Look at, she still hasn't had par. This is like, these are my favorite rounds, honestly. Not to play, but to watch.
Yeah. What a putt from Own. There were only 9 birdies on this hole today. This is one of the more bogeyed holes of the day. 33% of the field bogey in this one. This one's frustrating because you know you can birdie it. Everyone can reach this one.
Yeah.
It's doable, but it's crazy how quickly it spirals into a bogey.
One of the quicker spirals for sure on the course. Kristin gonna slide up into a tie for 6th. Haley King and Lucky Lorenzen leading the way at 4 down. Own in a tie for 3rd at 3.
Great start.
Hole 8 is our only par 5 of the day. Only 705 feet, but plays probably like 850. You want to get up the hill. There's no out of bounds. Second shot, you want to get probably past this grouping of trees into this clearing here to give yourself a chance to get up there. This last shot is quite a push. It gets a little bit narrower at the top. You can see there's fairway trees in the way, some little skinny ones. It's really difficult to get it all the way up onto the green and get a clean look at it. Distance-wise, not the hardest to par, but if you get off the fairway, you're most likely getting a bogey or worse.
And it's another one that everyone knows they can potentially birdie, but it's really difficult because, again, the landing zones are so small. Own covers some ground, but she's in a spot where it may not be possible to gain a lot of distance on her second shot.
Yeah, more common play here is what Kristin is doing. Either the turnover, which she gets great distance, but there's some trees over there. Yeah, you usually want it to flex out at the end.
Another factor with this hole is there's a ton of roots, and of course it's uphill, so your footing is always a little weird to get a run up. So you see a lot of people having to throw standstills,
root dodge on their run up, do some weird horse gallopy, lifting their legs over the tree roots. You know when the horses do that, where they prance? What is that? There's a word.
Oh my gosh, I just watched this the other day.
Leave it in the comments. What do horses do? when they're fancy.
What's the cute little dance?
Yeah. Prance?
No.
No. Clip clop?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna. Anyway, Missy throws a good shot here.
Dressage.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay, I didn't know that. Own on the right side looks like she's lining up this first gap.
Throwing right at the trees.
Oh, so close to making that work. She's looking at a par from back there.
Ooh, got a little roll too, it seems like. Holyn having to scramble something through these trees. It's not ideal.
Ooh, hits the first tree, gets a bad kick.
Yeah, that gap might look wide on camera, but with the secondary trees, there's just not much. You're just hoping you don't catch, if not the first one, the second.
Plus, I mean, these ladies are, going right towards the rough line. So yeah, you end up kind of sawing it off so you don't go too deep. Kristin with a really great shot.
Yeah, she can definitely get a birdie from there. Missy's third, just trying to get up to the top of the hill.
Great power. What a follow through. Yeah. She like kind of ran through it.
Own working a turning flex sidearm here.
Too low. It's gonna roll.
Ooh, burned pretty hard. And that is deep in the woods.
Oh, wow. Holyn in such a bad position that she's just going to putt it out into the middle.
Oh, right behind a fairway tree.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the story of this hole.
What were you talking about? Spiraling?
Spiraling. This is one that you don't see a ton of, 7, 8, 9 type of scores on this course.
A lot of sixes, though.
Especially on this week. Like, these players are really good at settling in and making sure to minimize their mistakes. But this is one where you might see one.
Yeah.
And pitching out as well.
No. She's going to be throwing 5 from there. Kristin in the best position of the group, throwing 3.
Making this hole look easy.
Come on. Oh, so close. Misses that tree. It was perfect. She's still up there and looking at a par and also looking at taking strokes on all her competitors on the card.
Own still with some work to do to get up to the green. Flashes the pan, though, and sets up nicely. This green does have a lot of obstacles as well. If you are on circle's edge, you could potentially not really have a great looking putt. Lots of little teeny trees like this one here.
Holyn goes a little deep. She'll have the teeny tree and a little bit of a straddle. Missy. Great little layup, easy par.
It's funny too, you're playing the course and you feel like you're just like cruising along, you're vibing. Everyone's like upbeat, we're all doing great. And then we get to this hole and it takes you like 35 minutes to play it. You're like, wait a second.
What just happened?
We've been averaging at like 8 minutes per hole. Wow,
great putt. Man,
Holyn
feels like she cannot miss these days.
Yeah, with a combined putting distance today of like 150 feet.
Yeah. Don't even bother going back and checking to see if that's right. I know it's right.
This played as the second most difficult hole, averaging at a half a stroke over par. Missy happy to walk away with one of those.
Kristin probably disappointed not to get the birdie, actually.
There were 5 birdies. I'm going to shout them out. Jessica Weiss, Rebecca Cox, Natalie Ryan, Silva Saarinen, and Elizra Middling.
Highlight birdie for sure.
Mm-hmm. Haley King and Lucky Lorenzen still in the lead at 4 down. Nice. Let's wrap up the front 9 at Brewster Ridge. It's a fun little downhill 310-foot hole, plays more like 260, 275, somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. You just want to throw it straight. Easy enough. Just dead straight on a rope.
End of preview.
Yep. No turn, no fade, just straight. You see players trying to work the fairway a lot more to get their disc to throw the perfect shape because it is so hard to throw that dead straight shot, but it's nice to throw a mid-range. You see a lot of mids and fairways here.
Kristin, a little early, working that left side. She gets far enough down there. She might even have... Oh, it slides into the circle. Mm-hmm. It's kind of lucky in the end of that left side.
I think that's the most classic mistake here. If you're playing the hole as safe as you can, you see a lot of players hyzer at the very end there. Missy attacking, though.
Yeah, not your typical mistake. Very late. I don't really know what it looks like over there, honestly.
It's not great. Lots of shrubs.
Shrubs. Own that same racer that she threw on hole 7. And hits a tree. She's in circle 2.
This green slopes pretty steeply downhill away from the tee pad. It's one that you do see some rollaways on. It is a little bit scary to putt from the short side. Holyn, though, not quite worried about the putt yet.
Boy, Holyn just having to work just to get bogeys out here. She jump putts, pitches it out.
Did she hit a tree?
She's out there. She's okay.
Missy gonna have to pitch out as well.
Looks like she's getting a little bit more aggressive. Pretty shot.
That was way more aggressive.
Yeah. Nice little kind of nose up floaty turnover.
From the fern gully.
Oh no.
Oh.
Holyn. Oh, not her best effort. Lucky to get past that first tree and have a look. But not a great look. Outside the circle, downhill death putt. And
settles up nicely, thankfully.
Still bogey, bogey, double to wrap up the front 9. Not how you want it to go.
Missy sending that putt. It stays, checks up inside the circle.
Own for a birdie.
Do it.
Oh, I wanted her to do it just so there's no gray on the scorecard.
Too.
Look at that. 3 down with 3 bogeys. That is wild. Kristin, bogey free so far. Also to move to 3 down. Some good playing here from Own and Kristin.
Missy coming back for bogey. Way uphill. Good for it. Corner pocket. A quarter of the field got this birdie. Middle of the pack as far as difficulty. A little surprising.
We'll see if Holyn can turn it around. It looks like Own in a big tie for first. Wow, huge tie at 3 down. Huge tie. Just keeps going. I just kept reading names.
Not a lot of scoring separation
out
at Brewster Ridge today, which is a little strange. But it's a wooded course. I feel like that's pretty, I guess, maybe more normal.
I think everyone's just pretty good.
Yeah,
you know?
Everyone is good. All the best are here. Let's see it. To be in the top 20, it looks like you need to shoot around a 1 under par through the front 9. The back 9 does not get any easier, though. Still a lot of trouble. A couple more par 4s as well. So hope you guys will come hang out with us. We got 4 rounds this week. 2 courses, 4 rounds, and we love these courses so much.
We really do.
And yep. So we'll see you guys on the back 9.
Thank you to the Founders Club, as always. What else can we talk about in this time that we have together?
We have a few more minutes, honestly.
Yeah. We'll save it for the back. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We're your 2 chatty geeks. Bye.